It's gonna. Hello, guys, and welcome back. It seems like after everything, we are gonna be getting into our matchup, and well, it will be Hamsterfriend versus Hopa coming into this game. Mr. DodgeThiss, are you excited to actually get into our first
We
game?
gotta get some games in, so I'm really excited to see this matchup.
Let's.
And we have Hamster vs Hopa, as you said, and he's starting off with a classic burn aggro deck.
Yep, let's move into the overlay then. Let's move into the Discord itself. Gonna be moving into the game. Hamsterfriend versus Hopa. Best of 3 into this one. And can you quickly run through our rule set, Mr. Dodge, as we move into this first
So
match?
it's kind of a conquest format. It's a bit altered, so it seems, pero you just have to use 2 decks per round that don't have overlapping.
Yeah, and here comes. It seems it is going to be a Noxus as well as a PNZ deck here for
And
Hamsterfriend.
Hopa has a really interesting deck. So he
Yeah.
has the Masha Freljord.
And I believe this is a burn aggro deck that will not have any champions into this one. It is,
Champion-less, I guess.
yes, sir. And that is just gonna be your fearsome spider coming on, and the precious pets going for an easy kill on hits rather. We'll get 2 damage on the other side. Already swapping things over. Very quick first turn there in this initial matchup.
It's really interesting kasi you have three one drops, right? So on the first turn when you have attack, you always want to drop to your fresh set if you know the failure deck or the Masha deck doesn't have any unit. If he has a one drop as well, kasi so he can hit face.
Yeah, Fearsome is such a interesting ability, especially in the early game. It makes sure that nothing can really block in that early stage. But something that not has to find, having 2 of those transfusions gonna be a little difficult to navigate. But he does have
He
that
can jump
legendary
block.
god.
He can jump
Yeah,
block this one.
yeah, it's all the Saboteur there. Gonna be looking to get a little more damage with the ability. And what is the win condition for a deck like this, Mr. Dodge?
So usually you want to win by turn 5 or 6 at most. If you get into turn 7, it's gonna be a bit dangerous from then on.
Yeah,
And
it's a
aside from
very
that,
fast
oh, you can use transfusion here. No, you have to.
transfusion. He wants to keep the
Okay,
Saboteur alive, and
he's Saboteur alive. It's a really
I
good play.
I get that, I get that. It has the ability, and if it's paired with the Boom Chrome later on, you can really get some direct damage onto onto that Hellpower on the other side as quickly as can be. But the Transfusion gonna be saving the Saboteur. The rear guard will die. It can't really do much on a turn like this. It can't block. And now it's Hopa's turn to shine. He will put down the Braum. Seems like this is a Poro deck waiting to happen.
So he still doesn't have too much units to defend against the burn in this deck. So he's gonna be wanting to level up Braum here in the first place to get those mighty poros out and take some damage.
What do you think about the Mighty Poro? I feel like it is an interesting filler, especially into your board,
It's
but
good when you have 5 of them.
we have Overwhelm. It's ridiculous actually. But look
So
at
he
that
can't
draw.
block. He can't block the fearsome, and the damage here will be the burn here will be pretty strong and for Hamsta's side. He
And
gets 7 damage in, and he can
Hopa.
even get transfusion off, so he survives with the saboteur and keep it up alive for the next attack.
Yeah, those transfusions actually playing it clutch. Thanks to his draws at the later stages, getting the Boom Chrome is such a big boon with that 4 HP. It's actually a pretty
And
ridiculous
he's
card
not
if you think
even
about it.
doing too much damage to the Braum. Kasi you'd want to have yung ano sana, you could have re-interchanged it. You could have put Braum on the Saboteur side and the Poro on the Boom Crew rookie, so you can take more damage, right?
Yeah.
But it
It's an
seems
Ash.
like he wanted to get the KO, pero he didn't expect the transfusion, I guess. So Nox and Fervor, you should definitely use it, pero you can Hopa can have an elixir
Elixir
of
of
iron.
Iron. Yeah, he might be able to heal up that Ash a little
So
bit.
he's contemplating.
As the friend trying to figure out what he's gonna do, he will go for the pass
Safe play,
instead, saving that Nox and Fervor for a rainy day. And a Mystic Shot now gonna get thrown on over on this side. For Hopa though, it seems like he wants a Sentry on the board.
Wow.
That's interesting. It's a very interesting tech right now into this deck. And well,
It's pretty dangerous for Hamster right now since he can't actually block with anything.
That's true. It's gonna be a lot of damage potentially, but that's gonna be pretty good draw onto that Decimate, Toxic Fervor, Mystic Shot. That's around how
He
much
has to
damage is
take
that? It's like
damage, a lot of damage.
if you do the math though, I believe that can be that can be around 6 damage onto the Nexus on the other side. But with Syndria the Bold, it gives the +1/+1 and that Fearsome, which as you said will prevent anything from blocking on the other side. But interesting enough, he will
He has
go
Mystic
for a
Shot.
pull, and he
He has
is gonna
Mystic
get the Ice Arrow there, the Crystal Arrow from the Ash, getting the Frostbite to connect. And in the meantime, it's time to kill that Ash.
I think you have to block here regardless. Citria.
He might
He
want
might.
to put something.
It's
like
a pretty
the-
dangerous play, I think, but it will work out. I think.
I think
Yeah, I think
it,
it will work out.
the Precious Pet could have been dropped there, but he does
Hindi,
have
if he
still
had
a lot
Elixir
damage.
of Iron, he would have taken
A
lot of this.
like 3 HP left on the side of Half-Tiss Fan, but luckily it didn't happen. And oh, that's a pretty good draw. Use Cast
Wow.
Ailment. That'd be
This
very
up,
effective.
he can KO. He can KO this turn for sure.
Okay, so interesting enough, he's not gonna drop
Lethal.
the cask yet. He does look for lethal though with that Decimate in hand. And since the Boom Crew as well as the Saboteur will get the proc on,
That is sure lethal.
see though, it's around 3 HP
Minus
damage.
3,
He got the Decimates
then he has
and then the
4.
Mystic Shots. That's 6.
Yeah,
That should be
exactly.
enough.
And he has Cask as well. So, siguro the only thing that would save him is a Radiant Guardian right now. Then a single combat.
Yes, those are
That's
injured.
not gonna work.
It's not gonna do much. Decimate time. Looking to go for a shot. Maybe the Mystic Shot as well. Cast it
No.
along the way. A little too dangerous.
It's
so
always safer for the Cask. Always
Yeah,
safer.
I do like the cast guy. He has a lot of potential to go for the chump block. He has a lot of things going on.
I mean, just in case, right? Just in case.
And well, that's a victory there for Hamsterfan. Seems like the burn deck started things off strong, and we'll be able to get the initial win
He
into
needs
this
to use
one.
another deck here now.
So yeah, as we said in terms of the rule set, it is basically a tournament where if you do win, you are unable to use the deck that you previously won with, and your opponent can choose to use the same deck as well, but in the meantime, it does allow your opponent to try and figure out how the matchup is gonna go on. But Hamsterfan with the first victory there in this best of 3, and well, Legend of Runeterra, we got a tournament going on, and I'm glad that we're having initiatives like this, Mr. Dodge, to really bring in the community.
Definitely. We'll be having more tournaments in the future right now. And another deck. I mean, they're both mono decks actually. It's really interesting.
That's true. And here comes our first draw. So Mod Demasha versus
Wow.
not Mono Bilgewater, which is a pretty
Ah.
intriguing sight to see. What kind of deck do you think is going to be on the side of Hopa? But here for Hamsterfan, you can already expect this is the mid-range Bannerman. Really look for that Allegiance bonus.
I think he's gonna be a plunder deck as well. Even without the TF, he can get a lot of plunder effects on. So he's gonna be using Jag Butcher, I guess.
Oh, is
After
that
this
a...
one.
I think it was a Gangplank actually on the other side. Like
Yeah,
getting a level up.
Gangplank and a Misfortune.
Yes, sir. Look at a lot of protect damage. Looking
it's a
for the
parlay.
parlay is a free hit
Really
there.
value.
It's
Big
one of
value.
those. It's one of those slow spells that is find value all the time.
Pero I
which is-
think it would have been better to use Warning Shot the next turn. So
you can use
can-
warning shot anytime, Dodge. I feel like it's
no,
just,
no,
one
no.
of those
Kasi
spells.
if he doesn't get face damage here, he won't get the trigger on the Gangplank.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You do want to get the round
See,
bonus.
he doesn't
right?
have face unless he has another Warning Shot.
He's gonna go for the. Oh, it's the.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything to Warning Shot here now. So it's a missed opportunity to get a trigger on the Gang.
But hey, we got some kegs set on up, and
Oh,
that's
two double unyielding.
that is an interesting double unyielding spirit. Usually you only
That's
see
early
one.
though. This
Yeah,
early.
usually you see one on your deck, but it's a misfortune getting dropped. And Hopa does have the opportunity to play a lot of aggression right now, especially with the MF on that side. But usually you do want to keep it safe. You don't want it to be taking damage, so you can get that free level up and then gets the per turn 3 damage onto both Nexus and everything doing combat.
Yeah, it's weird seeing Misfortune without the Scout.
Yeah, that's true. You
Scout
want to get the
play.
proc in 2 turns, but it seems
Wow.
like, well, for Hamsterfriend, he has found something really good to draw. That's gonna be the Fiora being dropped
I
down
would not
already.
I would not try to attack anymore. That's the case.
He does have the 2 War Chefs, but by this point in time, it's gonna be a single combat actually being dropped over. Is this the right call? It feels like the Fiora is gonna be dying. Oh, he's gonna go for the kicks instead, so to
I
mitigate the
think he
damage
wants
from the
to
Blanket
kill
Rain.
Misfortune as well at this turn.
This will be quick.
I think that will be a good play.
Yeah, and it's just a good way to also make sure that the damage is mitigated. It only is gonna be one procs instead of 3 damage there. Warship's now going down, but if he does drag that MF, it will lead to the demise of the Fiora.
I think it's fine since. Do you want Misfortune to live though?
Yeah, it's a
I mean,
misfortune
you
staying
can
alive. It's very
since
fast.
you already use single combat, you won't have mana for unyielding time.
Not gonna happen anytime soon. He's gonna need to basically, as you said, skip some turns in that way. But for
He's baiting though.
Hamster-
He's baiting.
I know
Yeah,
what I'm
he has to
doing.
make a decision, and Hopa will bite the bullets. It's time for the 2 champs to go on down. Still 5 HP worth of damage from those warships, which are really good support units. It's such a good building block of any Demasha deck. The +1/+1 on the
Oh, the
board, and
Badger Bear.
it's the best card in the game.
It's the
Dodge.
unyielding Badger Bear, dude.
You can never go wrong with the Badger Bear. Such a strong unit. It's just it's just very
Oh, I guess he doesn't
potent.
want
But he
unyielding
does want
Badger
to put the
Bear.
Swift String. I like the Swift String. It does give you that last spreads opportunity, but it's a double up right now, and it feels like for
Wow.
Hopa,
That's a big spell.
yes, it's gonna be going for the next. And I haven't really seen Hopa do much damage in direct combat. It's been those cannonball shots really connecting, but oh, that's a
Oh.
big draw. It's time
Oh.
for potentially the Garen
He's
to
gonna
get
have
dropped.
enough mana for unyielding next turn even. Because
Yeah.
he will have 8 mana.
One. Yeah, I love one in reserve, but it's still the Island Navigator to go for the
Raven's
chump block.
biggest fan, bro.
You can't go wrong with Raven. You can't go wrong. Take that Navigator though out of combat. It doesn't really matter right now. What can Hopa do potentially in a deck like
I
this?
think he can just. What do you have for 3 mana?
What
I
do you
don't
have
think
for
he has much options to
Yeah, especially
take
on,
a KO.
build,
Since
on mono build water. I don't think it's gonna happen to really stop any kind of antics on this side. And this is just basically a direct fire cannonball deck. You want to go for the kegs. And I saw something, Dodge, where people say if you don't know what to really do in your life, just play kegs, and eventually things will just fall into place.
kegs, bro,
Okay,
kegs.
so just get as many kegs
But
as possible.
there's a lot of one things in the game right now, so
Yeah.
you don't want to be stacking too much kegs for a long time.
Is it time to drop the
No,
unyielding
my
spirit? No,
unyielding.
No, it's gonna be the Bannerman instead to try and play it safe, get a little more of that heals, but the warships will get dragged on by the Hunter there on the other
He's
side.
going for value.
But is it gonna be enough? There's around how much damage on the other side? That's so much damage already. 12, 15, 19 in terms of power with only one chump block. I don't think this is gonna be a
then yielding.
survivable. It's not gonna be survivable whatsoever here for Hopa as it's a judgment run as Garen turns into that card instead. And here comes a potential lethal. It's time to potentially drop things down. The Unyielding Spirit, of course, is a burst spell, so you can pop it at any time. to really
Usually,
save whatever units.
usually you want the challenger at the last slot. Pero
But hey,
it works.
it works, and it is victory here for Mr. Hamster Friend, just dominating his opponents all throughout this match, and
More-
well, there's a lot more experience, honestly, I can see from Hamster Friend overall.
Yeah, definitely.
Well played by Hamster Friend. He will take the victory. Will be winning at 2-0 for this first turn, and yeah, that's the first game.
So it's a really fast game. Burn aggro closing at the first game. The Masha mid-range Bannerman for the second game. So I'll be unmuting our winner right now. So you can ask him a few questions, I guess.
So who do we got? We got Mr. Hamster Friend.
Hamsta.
He's a deaf mute
Hamster.
himself. He's deaf mute
Um,
himself, man. Hamster Friend though with a pretty decisive 2-0 victory, and honestly, I wish we could actually talk about their decks and how they're being structured, but it seems like for Hamster Friend, he had such a strong core, especially with that whole Bannerman situation on that second game. He could have actually dropped the Needle Spirit in many instances, especially onto the Garen, but he wanted to go for lethal, he wanted to go for a boost onto the next turn, and well, all's well then so there for Hamster Friend as he moves on to the next round here in our bracket. It's actually a pretty big bracket, Mr. Dodge.
Definitely there. So we're hoping to get another good match. I mean, I hope we have PC players for for the next round who wants to get streamed. So here is our winner, Mr. Hamstuff Wend.
Hello, Mr. Hamsta. How
So
you doing?
Hi.
Good, solid victory
Oh,
there. And I would like to ask you just a little bit about your deck. So you got your Burn deck, you got your Bannerman deck, and
yeah.
what went into making those decks? Are you just following the meta, or is something you've been actually comfortable with playing in the ladder?
Well, I made a meta choice, and I got comfy playing both decks pretty much.
yeah,
It's a,
no judge here. No, we don't judge meta slaves here.
You
So
can't
you
do.
gotta play how you want to win it.
Yeah, it's very
yeah.
commendable, honestly, just to take a victory like that. And, well, Hamza Fend with a 2-0, moving on to the next round. I do have a question, though. How did you end up joining a tournament like this?
I saw Habatite post it in the group actually.
Oh, it's pretty interesting. And have you ever
Yeah.
had any CCG experience before, Runeterra?
I played. I used to play 1v1 tourneys for EDH in Magic. I also played a lot of Legend of the Five Rings, Game of Thrones, some Netrunner.
Ooh, so you do
Yeah.
have a history of it, and it shows you do have some pretty good decision making there, here and there, especially on your deck construction. Might as well play the meta the best way to go about things. So good luck to you,
Yeah.
Hamster friend. We want to see you do further into the tournament, and congratulations, moving on to round number 2.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that's gonna be our first round there, Mr. Dodge. And, well, what do you actually expecting from a tournament like this?
I wanna see like a Swain deck for the next match or something. Yeah, gotta get that Nexus Strikes in. Think about what's your favorite deck right now to watch?
I'm liking MF Quinn. Scouts has always been fun. I still do want to see some Vlad decks be played here and there. Can't go wrong with that with my Vampire Boy. And I honestly like the implications of a plunder deck. It's just so interesting to see you yoink cards away from your opponents.
So
And
it's basically yung win condition ng ano na yun. The
yeah,
premise of a plunder deck is like, my deck is good, your deck is good. So I
I'm a
steal your cards
yes
to
sir.
make my deck better. So it's basically
It's basically it.
yoink.
It's like I'm yoink your win condition, and suddenly you draw the OTK lead draws plus
Yeah, so that
the
happened
flip.
yesterday. Don't that
No,
happened
no, is
yesterday with the
it did?
winner.
Did it? That sounds.
He drew he was up against a Gangplank Shadow Isle deck.
Uh-huh.
And he drew the Dreadway, then he drew the Lidros.
That's a little
That's
unfortunate.
so sad for
That's
the other guy.
that's so sad. True,
And
true,
he only had
true.
one copy of Lidros.
Well,
So, you know how it goes.
that's how it is sometimes. And, well, that is our first match here now in the Legends of Runeterra Philippines. Philippines Newbie Tournaments. This is sponsored by Valfi, guys, and big shout outs to them for really bringing in a little bit more to our tourney. We'll be right back. Though we'll be looking for a second round of action. Don't go away. This is your Philippines Newbie Tournaments for today.